Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're looking at the all-new 2018 Ford Fusion. This particular one is in the Platinum trim, and so it has the all-wheel drive and it has the upgraded EcoBoost engine, but let's just get right into it. Up front here we have a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder Ford's EcoBoost engine. It puts out 245 horsepower and 275 pound-feet of torque through a 6-speed automatic, and in this particular one that goes to all 4 wheels. This car is rated for 23 combined, 20 around the city and 29 on the highway, which is actually pretty good for a sedan that's as large as this and has as much power as this has. Then finishing the tour up front, we can see that kind of signature design language that kind of has a very luxury look to it. And if you actually look over at the headlights here, you can see those kind of new upgraded headlights they have that are the HID bulbs. You kind of get these little nice LED accent lighting and everything, and all the nice little chrome bits and everything up the front that give this a very nice and, like I said, luxurious kind of look to it. Then if we look at the wheels here, they are 19-inch polished aluminum wheels wrapped in these Continental tires that are about 235 millimeters. And then coming around to the back, to release the trunk, just press the key fob twice and the trunk will pop up a little bit for you, and then you can just lift the rest up yourself and get into the back here. And you see this has a ton of trunk space. Back here you can fold those back seats down to get even more space. But yeah, this is a really spacious trunk, so this is, and you get that with the larger size sedan with this, so you can, you know, kind of store and haul a lot of little things in this and everything. It does have this really nice back end to it. You got those nice LED tail lamps and everything. You got the dual exhaust, which to do the remote start, the key fob right here, and just press that twice, and then it'll start right up. And then just press it again and it'll turn it right off. Coming around to the side, this has the keyless access, so just touch that to lock it, to unlock it. Just put your hand on the back of the handle and that'll unlock for you. You have the regular seat controls on the side with the lumbar adjustment, and you actually get this nice kind of like, you know, quilted looking leather with the nice contrast stitching on the side that kind of make this feel a lot more luxurious. Step-in height's actually pretty nice, especially for a sedan. And we can see the usual Ford kind of like steering wheel setup with the 2 sets of controls for the 2 different screens right here on the steering wheel, for those 2 screens right there. The cruise control with the adaptive cruise control and everything, and then, you know, the Bluetooth and the volume controls and voice controls and everything. And then over to here where you get all the analog controls for the radio, for the heated and air conditioned seats, for the dual zone climate and all that. You still do get that little CD player right there, USB down there. Your cup holders here. This is actually the shifter for it, which is a dial shifter. And then you get the parking sensors and then the park assist, the parking brakes right there. You get this glove box with 2 storage compartments, more 12-volt and USB. And then that kind of like sort of quilted looking leather pattern with the stitching kind of continues onto all of the seats, and you can actually see it in the back row, which we'll go back there in a minute. You do get this nice big glove box, and then the dash that's just finished with this nice leather stitching with the wood trim and everything that just makes this interior feel pretty luxurious overall. And then if we look up, we do get a nice little sunroof here and everything. It's not a panoramic sunroof or anything like that, but it's still nice nonetheless. And then to start it up, all you gotta do is just put your foot on the brake and then push the push start button right here. And then you will hear that 2-liter EcoBoost engine come to life. And you get your regular gauges. So you got your speedometer right in the middle, you got your fuel gauge and everything, which you also get like a little tachometer over there to show the revs and everything and all that. And then you got your radio screen on the other side. And then here's that shifter where you can put it into reverse and everything, neutral, drive, and then if you want to do the shift mode yourself and all that. And then to kind of finish things off, you do have that same center screen that you're going to see on a lot of the other products. So you got your climate control, your audio, your phone, navigation, all that, all your applications and everything that you put into this and all that. And then if we put the gear into reverse, the reverse camera will pop up on the screen, which is actually pretty neat that I found. other than the trajectory lines that it has, what it also has is it has this little plus button. You press it, it'll actually zoom in for you when you're trying to reverse and all that, which I thought was pretty neat to have. Coming around to the back, it sells that keyless entry on the back, which I really like. I haven't noticed a lot of other manufacturers doing that, but I think that's a really neat thing. You got plenty of space back here. And this little hump here in the middle is a little bit raised, so it'd be a little bit harder to have a third passenger. You do get vents back here. You do get a full outlet down there as well with the little 12 volt. And then you get this nice little armrest that's also cup holders and everything. And so back here is actually a pretty nice place to be. I will say though, headroom is a little bit on the small side, but it's not cramped by any means. Are setting off in the all-new 2018 Ford Fusion, and this is kind of more of what I would consider kind of like a grand touring car with a little bit of a sporty twist to it, you know, having that, you know, more powerful EcoBoost engine. But I kind of, you know, see this car as something more that you just kind of, you know, cruise around and everything in for luxury use and all that, and just have an easy day-to-day commute and all that. Starting off in it, ride quality is really good. I am noticing that, you know, large amount of torque, you know, 275 pound-feet of torque, which is a pretty good amount for a car this size. It just kind of helps it get up and go and, you know, just smoothly cruise along the road and everything. And you can just kind of ride that, you know, wave of torque basically and just keep kind of going and going. You don't get a lot of sound from that 4-cylinder engine. You kind of hear a little bit. It's not like a super good sounding engine. I mean, 2-liter 4-cylinders have never been known to sound, you know, fantastic or anything like that. But it's nice that that engine's really quiet and not intrusive into the cabin or anything, because then it does definitely make this feel a lot more luxurious and a lot more comfortable. About that 6-speed transmission, it's not nearly as refined as the new 10-speed that they have. It definitely holds the gears a little bit longer than compared to that 10-speed and everything. It's not as smooth, the gear changes, so you do feel them a bit more. But it's by no means a, you know, bad transmission or anything like that. It's just that you can definitely feel the gear changes a lot more than compared to the 10-speed automatic that they have now in some of their other products. Steering on this is very light. It's very easy to, you know, turn the car and everything, which is really nice. I really like that actually. And something that I forgot to mention when I was going over the steering wheels, it does have these little paddle shifters mounted on the back of them, where you can do the gears. They're kind of like these little plastic paddle shifters, which they click, you know, really nicely and everything. But, you know, and they're actually, you know, pretty responsive. The transmission's not as responsive as that 10-speed, but they still kind of have a little bit of responsiveness to them and everything, and so it kind of makes them pretty nice to use and all that. About to get on the interstate here to get a little bit of an acceleration run. Not going to get in it all that much, because I mean, this really isn't, you know, you don't buy this for the, you know, sporty appeal to it, and you kind of buy it more for the luxury. But nonetheless, that EcoBoost moves pretty good, and you kind of just, you know, ride on this surge of torque once you get into those turbos, and it cruises really quickly actually, which I'm very pleasantly surprised about, because you just kind of, you get into those turbos and then you just kind of feel this wave of torque. You do get a little bit of you know, a little bit of kind of sound from that turbocharged inline 4, but it's not overly, like I said, it's not overly intrusive into the cabin, but overall it's actually a pretty quick car. I'm actually pleasantly surprised by that. Say overall impression wise on the 2018 Fusion is that if you're looking for more of like a grand touring car, then I think this would be a pretty good route to go, because these aren't extremely expensive. Like I believe this one that's, you know, one of the highest up trims is still under $40,000, which for the amount of, you know, luxury equipment that you get and everything is actually a pretty good deal. And I don't know what kind of discounts they're running on these, but I imagine that they'd be, you know, pretty good, knowing some of the stuff that Ford does discount wise and everything. But yeah, I mean, as kind of like a nice luxury car, but you're not wanting to pay for like the luxury name and everything, this would be a great alternative to go with. And it still has enough power. It may not be quite as responsive and sporty as some other luxury brands, but it's definitely a great route to go. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Again, that's the all-new 2018 Ford Fusion. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you're stopping for the first time, please subscribe, comment what you thought, and I will see all of you in that next video.